Hello, my name is Goran Mekic and you're watching Tilda tutorial on Freenit Frontend. Today we are going to see what we were doing last week, which is mostly the blog list. And today we are going to implement the rest of the API calls, or at least most of them. So let's start where we left off. We are going to start um, front end and back end with bin init, bin devil. All right, and the front end. No, this is not going to work. Sorry, but this will. Okay. All right. Now we need the browser and probably log in. I mean, we're probably going to need a login later. So blogs. And I just generated a bunch of, let's call them blog posts, fake blog posts, so that we have this pagination working, right? And these are the links that all lead to very hard coded blog posts. But the URLs are correct. Correct meaning they are using the slug that backend provided. So that was what we were doing last week, having this pagination work properly. When it goes to an end, this is disabled. Where it goes to the other extreme, this becomes disabled, and on every change, there's a change in the URL that corresponds to this number. Unless it's zero, then there is no number. And that's how our front end is notified that, hey, there's actually another page of data you need to display. Go fetch them and display them. So let's see what it means in the code to go fetch and display them. First, in the routing, you're going to notice that there is blogs and blogs with the page. They're all using the same component, and that component is blog list. And we said, okay, when the props change, when the component did update, based on previous props, see if we need to fetch new data by examining if the page changed, if the or to be precise, if the current props and the previous props have the page as the same number. And if it's not the same, then we were fetching just like we were doing it in the constructor. And this is why the URL change works, why URL change triggers the fetch, and that fetch is going to store data in the blog store, which triggers this in here, and this is going to change. And render is going to be triggered, returning a new set of data, actually a new set of components and elements. So that's what is going on under the hood. Today we want to have this working, this blog detail. And the blog detail is currently really kind of empty. So whenever you're working, okay, no, let's start differently. Sorry. What we were doing last week is fetch all, and everything was just calling this fetch all, meaning fetch me a list of blog posts starting with page 0 and have at most 9 blog posts as a response. Now we want to use all of these, maybe leaving create for the next week, but we want to fetch the data about specific ID, or better said slug probably. We're gonna check that in a Swagger, what's appropriate. Then we want to edit, for example, a title, and then we want to remove. Uh, this is probably also going to be slug, not an ID. Why the ID is here? It's because most um, models will use ID to represent what they want, uh, in a sense of detail object. And maybe we can use it too, but we will see what the backend is doing. And that's what the job of the front end developer actually is, reading the documentation, and in this case specification of the data that is being exchanged, sent and returned. So we want to use these three uh, functions, and you're gonna see that fetch is basically like fetch all. It has try catch block, and it's using get on a different URL. It's not like here slash blogs. It's slash blogs slash whatever is the ID of the blog post. When you get the result, you set it as a detail and return it as a result, or you set an error and okay is either true or false. All right. And this is what most functions here do. The store methods, what they are doing is using uh, some of the REST methods to get the response, construct the result, set either detail or the list, and return the result. In case of error, it's always like this: return error and OK false. So if you see edit is doing the same, it's just sending the data. Get doesn't have the data, but patch does. So it's sending the data with the URL that needs to be triggered, endpoint as REST terminology dictates. So let's close them all. And for start, let's just use this one. And actually, for start, well, let's see what the backend actually wants us to use. So we can say, no, wait. I'm gonna do it just a little bit differently. All right. So this is the page I want. Um, let's say I don't want to log in. I want to try to get the blog details, and by doing that, uh, uh, by trying to do that, first I need to see the slug of one of them, and then copy it here and see what do I get. So this is my first blog post. Okay. Oh, damn it. I hate it when my dog walks all over my paddleboard and mutes me. Okay, so this is actually a slug, not an ID, but we can call it whatever if it's used properly. It's just more obvious what we expect to be passed as an argument. All right, so if we look at the list, its constructor is also fetching, just like this one, but where is it? Okay, here. Here we are getting the argument that we're actually using here, so it's pretty similar. Either there's a not okay result and you show an error, or you just say, okay, everything is fine, go on. Okay, now we need to display actual blog post. Oh, all right, we have that. So we need to say blog dot hmm, title. And how are we going to get that? Is by this store blog detail. All right. So let's see what we get. Ah, no. All right. So let's see what we're getting. My first blog post. Okay, what if I go to this one? Second is not so bad. Second is not so bad. All right. So the title is picked up from the backend. The fetch actually works. Now let's get all the details wrought on. I don't think we have this one yet, but let's leave it here. Source is, oh my god. Um, Source is blog dot. No idea. I think it's image, but I'm gonna check the I'm gonna check the swagger later and make sure, but I know I want blog.content in something like this. Alright, let's see. Alright, I got the attribute right. There's even a picture, right? So we're fetching the right data, and I'm just gonna remove this for now. I wanna concentrate on the store today, not so much on the UI. All right, so I just removed the that from the UI completely. Okay, so this works and it's wonderful, but how about um, doing some edit or delete, for example? Now, let's say that we want to see a button here with an X, maybe red one. If we are logged in, uh, we're not going to check if this is our post. For now, we are just gonna send delete if we are logged in. So we know that there is a difference in this icon when we're logged in or not. So there is a way, there's a procedure how to figure out should we display that button or not. Okay, so first, let's see how do we figure that one out. Now, there's prop store. No idea. I think it's this one. All right. Now, I want to show you the browser. All right, there's a bunch of stuff here. And detail has OK true if we're logged in. And it's either undefined or it's false by default. So we can say that something like this. If auth, then draw button. Right? We want something like this statement. And we want the result uh, let's say delete UI is, we want to evaluate something like this and put the result in this delete UI variable constant. And we want to ask if this prop store auth is okay, then my button is, uh, let's say, like this. Otherwise, it's null. All right. So what this does is check if authentication is okay, and it's literally like a question. Uh, if this is okay, and well, like if we write it like this, maybe it's more obvious. So if we read this like a question, is the authentication okay? If yes, then button, otherwise return 0. And that button or null is going, not 0, null, sorry, is going to end up in this delete UI. Okay, so let's say I don't need this. And by the button, this is probably going to go beneath the title, but even that's okay for now. Oh, damn it. The code again. Alright, so let me repeat that. How we are getting, uh, how do we read this is like a question. Is the authentication okay? If yes, then set delete UI to this button. Otherwise, set it to null. And we are going to render that here, probably under age 1. Uh, so yeah, well, we're not going to do that yet. So what I need actually is import, not like that, button from your UI core. All right, and this. All right, now there is something missing. I don't see any button. But let's see what's going on in the console. What I mean is, let's just see what delete UI becomes. So, browser. It's always null. Oh, damn it. Did I miss? Yes, I did. So, I missed detail here. That's that's why it didn't work. Okay, so now we have this X here. We probably want it centered differently. But first, let's see if this works when I log out. So I log out, I go to this link, and there is no X. Okay, this is exactly what I wanted. Now, let's work on that a little. All right. So we go here now. There's this. All right. Well, I'm actually pretty annoyed with how it looks. So let me do just one little thingy. Div style. How does this go? Display flags, align items, center, uh, justify content, center. I think this is it. All right. Why are you screaming? Oh, okay. And what do we have now is this. So I probably want to do something with the button. And because it's going to be multi-line, I'm gonna need these parentheses and this and this. So I want color to be basically reddish. So secondary. Ah, damn it, the code again. So yeah, I split this into multiple lines, and I want the color of a button to be secondary. Secondary means it's red. So it's a big no-no, right? And we need to do something when we click on it. And what we are going to do is remove this. All right, so I'm gonna need these two. Actually, yeah, this is going to be exactly the same. This is going to be remove slug. All right, so this should be the function that removes the blog from the backend. So not not this one, not this one, but remove. Also not ID, but slug. Slug. All right. So we are removing this blog post by first selecting it with the slug and then removing it, right? And we need to say when this happens, and it happens when you click this button. All right. But for now, I just want blog dot no. I just want slug to be displayed and return. All right. So in here, oh my god, there's so much gibberish. Right, my first blog. Okay. So I know I'm getting this right. Now let's see what happens if actually I want something else. If this was successful, we cannot stay on this blog detail because it doesn't exist anymore. We need to do something. And we need push blog. All right. And history also comes from store. So if this is successful, then go to blogs, blog list, right? Oh no, the code again. Uh, History comes from the store also. And if this is, well, if OK is false, so it's not OK, then do this, show an error. If it's OK, then go to blog list because this blog detail doesn't exist anymore. Now let's see what am I going to get, but I don't want to delete this one. This one is kind of unique. I mean, not kind of. It is unique because it has all these have the same title. Okay, let's try to delete this one. What happens in the network? Uh, Get blocks, but delete, right? And response was that object that was deleted. All right. Now we have the delete functionality. Now let's try to clean up this a little bit. So we say, okay, just delete a couple of these until I have less than 9, because then I'm gonna notice that the layout is different. All right, this is tedious. Oh, come on. We're gonna do this forever. Oh, okay. 3 more. 2, 3. All right. Now let's make it really obvious. All right. So delete really works. If I refresh, I get new data and so on. So delete is fine, but how about edit? How about if I click on the title, I get input field that lets me edit my title, and actually not input field. I'm gonna show you what dialog is, model window and dialog, and we're gonna have a little form there to edit the title and then okay and cancel. Uh, Ideally, you would get this as part of design, but we didn't. Hmm. Anyway, there is a special thingy called uh, dialog, and it's this one, right? But what we want is slide in. I didn't know this exists. Okay, form dialog. All right. So this is something that's okay. So it's a form dialog, and we can just take this and I'm gonna paste it, well, basically anywhere. Uh, right, and I'm gonna need dialog, dialog title, dialog content, dialog content text. So yeah, I guess this is all right. This is too early. So this is roughly what we want. Dialog actions. Oh my god. Okay. Dialog actions. All right. So we will need some kind of state to remember. Should we open remove or not? And by default, don't. Not remove. Sorry. Uh, it's title. Right. Should we add it title or not? Maybe we shouldn't. And based on that, it's title on close. This will be this not handle close, but it will be I have no idea. Uh, hide edit title. All right. So it's all the same. Okay. Hide edit title. Uh, okay. Let's make this secondary. And I will probably want to outline them, but not for now. Autofocus, yes, yes. ID, I'm not sure I need it. No, and title. Okay. Um, enter new name of the title. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how this works, and then why it's not good. Then we're going to improve it, and it's gonna be somewhat perfect. Maybe I want something else, but I have a specific thing in mind. So let's give it a try. Um, okay, let's see how this looks like. Actually, it doesn't. No. Wait. There should be two more functions. Show edit title, which should set state of edit title to true, and the same thing with height. Alright, and then h1 we say onclick equals this show edit title. Alright, so I want this also. Okay. Now let's see what happens. Alright, we have gibberish, and when I click on this one, alright, I can do this, then cancel it. Alright, now let's clean up. I don't need this anymore. And what's it gonna be? On close, yes, but on subscribe, it's not gonna be subscribe, but okay. I want edit title to do its job, and edit title is going to certainly it's going to hide edit title when it's done, and it's going to get the blog from the store, then say blog dot edit um oh my god, no, wait, const page, no, not page, sorry, slug is in the parameter, and we want to edit something with this slug and say title is this state title. Actually, we want to await on that and do just like we did here. If there's something funky with the result, show an error. Okay. Notification. All right. Now, what's going on here is that we have this. Oh, all right. We have this title in the state of this blog detail component. It's not a store. It's just specific to the blog detail. It's not general as a store, and we're going to set there. We're not doing that at the moment, but we're going to set whatever is in the um, text field is going to become this title state, and then we're going to use it to actually send the slug and title to the backend. How we want it to change. So um, why doesn't it work like this? Because this needs all right. This needs handler, and that handler handle title change is going to this set state title is going to become, I think, event target value, but we're going to check that. And how we're going to check that is because we're going to use the value to display it, to render it. So if I'm not changing it right, it's not gonna change in the text field. All right. So when I click here, this is shown, and all right, I can do it. Now, let's see what happens. Alternate seconds. And let's say okay. All right, this changes, but look at the slug. Second is not so bad. We're still there. This shouldn't change, but it should be generated better initially. but we have our editing of a title, right? And basically, this text, this content, and this logo are going to be changed in the same way. I'm just not gonna do it. You're gonna have some homework to do. But they're absolutely the same. And when I say absolutely the same, let's see what is needed for something to be changed. First, you need this dialog to be open. Let's say everything is going to be changed through a dialog just for simplicity's sake. You need to open a dialog based on your state of some variable, true or false, and on close you need to hide that dialog. Uh, Hiding a dialog is just setting this variable to either false or showing it to true. Then you need to set onChange handler of your text field, your value to the state of your title. So not edit title, but the title itself. Because if you notice it, we have two variables here. One is should the dialog even be displayed or not, and one is what's the actual value of the title. And we just put it as an empty string. And that's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna get back to that shortly. So we put it as a value here, and we know that this is changing this value because it's getting rendered. So everything works. Now in the actions you're gonna have cancel and well do whatever is to be done. In this case, editing the actual title or hiding the dialogue. So editing, like sending the actual data to the server, is getting blog and slug from the parameter store and parameters. Then send edit request to the backend to this slug and change it according to this title uh, state. If there is an error, right, this is becoming repetitive, right? If there's something wrong, show errors, and then hide the whole dialogue with the editing title form. So that's what's going on here, and you will use this probably as like a template of how do you edit different attributes of an object of a blog post. Okay, so let's see. I said that there is a problem with this. What if I say okay here, right? Then this is done, but now this is so bad. Did I even delete it? I don't know, right? But it poses a problem if it's a empty string. So one thing we need to do is that this is actually something that's required. All right. So now, if this is empty and I say okay, oh, come on. Okay, no. Um, right. I mean, I know it's wrong, but with required, we are hinting a user with the asterisk that it's required, but if this state title is this, then return. No, actually, I don't want to do that. I want to do something else. Most of this needs to happen only if the title is actually not empty, but either either way, I want to hide the title, or maybe this is not the best way to do it. Maybe I should say notification not show. Uh, Title cannot be empty. Right? And now this goes here. What? Oh, okay. Then like this. All right, let's see what I have here. So if it's empty, it should scream. All right, don't do anything. And now, empty. Okay. But if I write something, then it's okay. All right. So we're guarding against that, but this is not really nice. And it's not nice because we're starting with empty title when we already have a title. So that title is, sorry, we're not gonna need these. And it's a blog detail title. All right. Oh, sorry. So in the show edit, get the blog as an object, as a store, get the title from the detail and set it in the state so that we actually start editing the title. And when we close it, we put it back as an empty string. Whoops, sorry. So let's give it a try. When I start editing, it already put it into something, right? Or if I go here, that's the one. No, the slug is the same, so I always get this one. All right, but something new, right? Now it's really edit. When I click here, I get the old title and I can edit it. And if it's not, if it's empty, it's gonna scream and so on. Okay, let's see. Um, we have fetch and edit and delete, right? So what we are using here is we removed one. We know how to edit the data and we know how to fetch the edit is also a slug. All right. So we know how to do all this. All right. And the only one left is actually create. And I'm gonna skip it for now. I think we had enough adventure for today. So I'm just gonna go through the uh, what have we done here. So this one, and this one. All right. At the beginning, no, we need all of these. Okay, okay. So at the beginning, just fetch, and the fetch calls the fetch from the block store. This is that one based on the slug. It gets the data, and if something wrong, show the error. Then we have in the title, uh, we have this show title and editing and all this, but basically calling edit from the blog store ultimately. And the delete is what we just saw as a button with an X. That's this one, but only if we are logged in. Now you can see there's a problem with this because when I'm not logged in, this dialog is going to be open. So let's do the same with uh, oh, it's going to be like this. And we're basically going to do the same procedure. We're gonna put the dialog conditionally on screen. All right. And edit UI. Let's see. Okay. Now this is something that is, let's say, secure enough. We have this shown when we click on it and it's deleted. Probably should be more cautious, asking, are you sure, and so on. But we're showing the functionality here. And when we go to blogs, something new, and now there is no button, and this doesn't react at all, right? So it's it's not working uh, as advertised, right? And you can see that I'm typing these blogs all the time. It would be about time next week to put it here in the menu so it's accessible more easily. And we're going to create to add a little button on this list that is going to show us a new dialog to create a new blog post. And basically, it's gonna be really minimal UI just to show, just to create a basic data for the blog post, and then edit is going to be used to actually uh, insert the text into the content. So that's all for today. Uh, we're Tilda Center. We're committed to education, free education specifically, and all our lectures are free and will be forever. So please consider donating and supporting the project with patreon.com tilde center, and help us to get even into a physical space where one day we will teach people in a physical uh, environment the goodies of uh, IT. Thank you very much for your attention and see you next week. Bye bye.